someday when the state can get a handle on the statewide fraud, we'd be happy to go back to accepting paperwork from around the state.
The Travis County Tax Office telling us exclusively it stopped accepting vehicle inspection reports nearly 8 months ago from cars subject to emissions testing that are not from Travis and Williamson counties. The drastic move comes amid widespread fraud. One local task force estimates 5 million vehicles were fraudulently inspected last year. As investigator Matt Grant reports, law enforcement worries that's putting polluting and potentially unsafe vehicles on our roads with little done to stop it.
This is the tip of the iceberg.
We're getting rare access.
Do you have one?
Inside an undercover sting.
19. Station 19. Right there.
Behind this two-way window at the Travis County Tax Office, investigators are looking for bogus vehicle inspection reports.
This is organized crime. There's no question about it.
Sergeant Jose Escribano is with the Travis County Constable's Precinct 3 Clean Air Task Force, working to stop emissions testing fraud.
Regular enforcement is oblivious, as is the tax office. They can't see it.
That's a clean scan.
Clean scans are when a vehicle's given a passing emissions inspection illegally. The test is required annually in 17 Texas counties in order to register or re-register your car. Officials say the scheme works when an inspector is paid a bribe to pass a vehicle that should fail because the vehicle isn't performing to clean air standards set by the Environmental Protection Agency. Emissions tests can be bypassed without the car being present with a computer simulator or connecting an analyzer to a different car that can pass. The fake results registered as an official state record with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, or TCEQ, making it difficult to detect.
We're not going to be able to completely stop and shut it down, but we can damn sure figure out who the high volume people are marketing these things to the public.
Constable Stacy Suit says the high volume is coming from Dallas, Houston, and El Paso. Over 2 days here in Travis County, the task force obtained at least 5 arrest warrants, with more pending after confiscating fraudulent inspections originating from Dallas and Houston.
So on top of everything else that our staff has to do, now they have to be fraud investigators.
Travis County Tax Assessor Collector Bruce Elfant requested the sting.
We take it seriously and we want to be out ahead of the fraud rather than get run over by it.
Elfant says they're catching around 50 suspected fraudulent inspections a month. The problem so bad, he's revealing for the first time his office is refusing to accept vehicle inspection reports for cars subject to emissions testing from outside Travis and Williamson counties.
We have had to turn people away. I think certainly people are frustrated by it, but we're dealing with fraud.
The suspected fraud cases are also coming in as obvious counterfeits, like this with an incorrect inspection cost, and this spelling sticker wrong and listing the inspection station as the Texas DMV headquarters. Since January 2022, TCEQ data we obtained shows the agency is aware of more than 1.5 million likely clean scans, including nearly 22,000 in Austin and Round Rock, identified through missing or mismatched vehicle identification numbers.
We had to always match VIN, plate, and everything.
To see how it's supposed to work legally, we went to Flashpoint Auto Inspection in Austin. This emission analyzer, attached to a computer, connects to a port to the vehicle's sensors.
Usually it tells us right here if it's previously inspected, when it was last inspected, what it failed for. So it looks like it failed for the emissions.
An average inspection should take around 10 minutes, but Escribano says some inspection stations are reporting 2-minute times or less, cranking out hundreds a day with less than a minute in between. Impossible, according to experts.
Have people come to you asking you to fraudulently inspect their vehicles?
Every day, I'd say multiple times a day, sometimes 3-4 times a day, sometimes more, and I like to count.
Flashpoint owner Jose Carranza wants to see more done to stop the polluting problem, as multiple social media ads pop up promising vehicle inspections guaranteed to pass for a price.
Obviously, if it's an emission issue, it's an environmental issue, pollution issue. We're in a big city, a bunch of cars with check engine lights polluting the air. I'm sure it'll affect us eventually, right?
TCEQ admits it's been a problem since before 2017. That has Escribano asking why more hasn't been done to stop it.
But it takes what, the FBI helping us on all this stuff? This needs to be a statewide task force, put it together and put an end to this. This is ridiculous.
He points to a third-party confidential data system called the Texas Information Management System, which contains records for more than 11 million vehicles' annual inspections. Escribano says the system has a filter to pinpoint inspection stations that are clean scanning, a feature only his agency, TCEQ, and DPS are authorized to see. But he wants other law enforcement and tax offices across the state to have the same access to help ensure more inspection stations compromising the system are cut off and unable to commit fraud in the future.
You're going to sit here and tell me you can't do anything about it or point the finger at somebody else? I'll tell you right now, it's unacceptable. You need to fix your system now.
No one from TCEQ or DPS would go on camera. TCEQ Chairman John Neerman disputes Escribano's $5 million estimate, calling it, quote, a dramatic overstatement. Escribano, though, defends his numbers, citing parameters TCEQ doesn't consider. Neerman says in March, DPS began using a tool to lock inspection stations out of the Texas Information Management System, or TIMS, when there's signs of fraud. This month, he says TCEQ and DPS have agreed to the outlines of a proposed TIMS tool that we believe is technically and administratively workable that would stop fraudulent inspections in real time. No word, though, Josh, on cost or time frame.
Matt, DPS says it is focused on stopping fraud without impacting and inconveniencing a significant number of innocent motorists. Since these are state agencies with leaders appointed by the governor, what did his office say about the possibility of a dedicated statewide task force?
Well, we did specifically ask the governor's office about that. We reached out several times but did not hear back as of this report, but we'll include any response we receive on this story online.
Won't Texas phase out vehicle safety inspections in 2025?
That is a good point. Yes, emissions tests, though, will still be required in more populated counties to ensure federal air quality standards are met. But yes, the safety inspections will go away in 2025.
So what's next?
Well, that's a good question. TCEQ has offered to meet with Escribano, which he welcomes. He's already met this week with DPS and is reaching out to state lawmakers. He wants the law clarified to make it easier to prosecute criminals who are passing these vehicles illegally, Josh, for profit.
All right. Well, this is an issue we've been investigating for months. This summer, we told you state inspectors in Austin and Kyle were arrested, accused of selling fraudulent vehicle inspection reports. And in August, 2 DPS program inspectors in Dallas were charged with organized criminal activity for facilitating fraudulent emissions tests. More about those cases and links to our complete coverage in this story in the Texas Politics section of our website. How old is too old to serve? Texas voters reject a proposal to raise the retirement age for state judges, how the decision could have an impact on the state's highest court.